am still a Boston fan. I've thought about why I'm a Boston fan for a while now, but I found out there's one real reason. It's because I love to be hated. I mean, seriously, why would I like all the arch rivals of my best friend's teams, my roommates' teams, and even my girlfriend's teams? It'd be so much easier for me to like, say, the Knicks to the Devils. I would leave all the ridicule behind, and it would be a much easier life. Every time there's a conversation that sparks up about the Knicks and the Celtics or the Devils and the Bruins, there's always a couple shots in there about my Boston teams. I end up dealing with this, but it bugs me a little bit. But the real reason why I end up dealing with it is because I feel like the Boston teams are my teams. Nobody else really likes them around here, and it makes me feel like they're mine, and I don't have to share them with anybody. So the real reason, I guess, why I put up with all the ridicule is because I feel like Boston teams make me feel unique. Now, as I was growing up, I think say my dad was my biggest influence on my sports teams. He had always been a big Red Sox and Patriots fan, so naturally he instilled those values on me. And I grew up happy when the Red Sox won and sad when the Patriots lost. But as I grew older, I started expanding my sports teams, and I eventually looked at basketball and hockey. Now as you grow older, the most natural thing to do is for you to start supporting a team, and the team you usually support is where you live. At this time, when I had started looking at basketball and hockey, I was about in middle school. I think I was in 8th grade, and I was living in New Jersey at this time. So I would most logically start rooting for the Bruins or the Devils and the Knicks. However, I immediately turned to the Bruins and the Celtics. Now I have a pretty good reason why. I mentioned the Knicks and the Devils before for a reason. Well, first of all, they aren't really that great of a team. I mean, the Knicks had, before last Sunday, they hadn't won a playoff win or a playoff game for 13 straight games. I'm pretty sure you all know this because Joe Go has been keeping you updated with his Twitter. But the real reason why I don't like the Knicks or the Devils starts with a couple Sundays ago when I was on the couch with my mom. We were watching the Devils and Flyers game, and I'm a big Bruins fan, so this didn't really interest me that much, but it was a great game, of course, so I kept on watching. About halfway through, my mom asked me who I was rooting for now, and I immediately said, I don't know, it doesn't really matter to me. I said, who are you rooting for? And she said, the Devils. And I was like, why? Well, she said, because the Bruins are out and I need a team to root for. She immediately chose the Devils because that's where we live. And now, that thought hadn't even occurred to me. It really took me by surprise that she would like the Devils, because to me, the Devils were the opposite end of what I was looking for. I had always liked the Bruins. I grew up with the Bruins as I got older, and it never really occurred to me that I could change teams to the New York team especially. Just because I changed my location to New Jersey at that point didn't mean I was going to change my loyalty to the Devils as well. I changed my location from Concord, Massachusetts to New Jersey when I was about 8 years old. So I was living in Concord, Massachusetts for 7 years before my dad got offered a new job and we had to move to New Jersey. A lot of things have stayed with me from Massachusetts, and a lot of things had faded, but one thing that didn't, obviously, was my love for Boston teams. With this love for Boston, though, came my definite hatred for New York teams, which is one of the reasons why I couldn't even think of liking the Devils or the Rangers. I had been in New Jersey for about 10 years now, but I have been a Boston fan for 17 years, and New York enemy for another 17. The last reason why I'm a Boston fan is I think it's because I don't want to let go of my childhood. I fancy myself to say that I live in Massachusetts still. It always seems like such a nice, warm, and welcoming place whenever I go back, and I kind of want to move back there when I get older. My family has great ties and good friends to people in Massachusetts, so we invite them up to Vermont skiing every year in our house in Stratton. A lot of things change between our families every year, but one thing that I can always count on is talking about the Red Sox or the Patriots with them. It's the one thing that can connect us no matter what happens, and this is what I really liked. My Boston teams connect me with my childhood, which I still don't want to let go of. When we moved to New Jersey was tough, but with it, I found that I'm never going to stop liking my Boston teams because it's what my dad liked as I was young. I was born in Massachusetts. I like being unique, and I think most of all, I just like New York.
All right.